Okay, my friends, here we go again. Dark matter, key to a cosmic puzzle. They're talking about revealing the mysterious origin of magnetic fields and dark matter. Well, I have some information on both of those things. Now, let's just get down to where they make their point about how important this dark matter is. We don't know how magnetic fields formed. Well, I have a theory. Now, new theoretical research tells how the invisible part of our universe could help us discover it, which is the dark matter, suggesting a primordial genesis. Primordial, the beginning of everything, even within a second of the Big Bang. They're talking about all of these fields were created. They're not created by that. I can show you how they're created in a minute. They said present on immense scales, and that's correct. Magnetic fields are found everywhere in the universe. That is also correct. However, their origins are still subjects of debate among scholars. That's also correct. An intriguing possibility is that magnetic fields originated near the birth of the universe itself. That is, they are primordial magnetic fields. They just came instantly, and all these magnetic fields just popped out instantly. Well, that's not, I don't think that's true. Here's why I don't think it's true. All right, so they're talking about magnetic fields, which those are magnetic fields. Now, this is magnetic film, which is totally destroyed, but this is a little neodymium magnet. Now, look what happens when I put it behind here. You see what happens? You see all those white particles around the black? But you don't see any fields like this. And the reason is it's not spinning. If it was spinning, you would see pulse, 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 pulse. Right? Here we go with pulse, 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 pulse as it spun. Right now, you just got this. Well, if this was down here and spinning like crazy, you'd get this. Pulse, 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 pulse. That's exactly what's happening on a spinning body. The moon doesn't spin. So the moon doesn't have a magnetic field to speak of, I don't believe. All of these are dipoles, and they create the dipole because of the spinning effect. And it's because of the spinning effect of the scrub. And I try to explain that, but you see, these are not, see how they have these oddball looking things? Because they're interacting with each other's dipole moments, basically. This one seems to be on its own. I think this is Jupiter, Venus. And the reason, I have two reasons for thinking that. It's so enormously brilliant. And secondly, it appears to have two magnetic fields, which you say, well, Roger, how could that be? Well, Venus is going around the sun, let's say this way. And it's supposed to be spinning this way as it goes around the sun. But it's spinning backwards as it goes around the sun. So one field sets up as the spin around the sun, and one field sets up as the reverse spin. I would assume the reverse spin is this one here, which is a real heavy-duty one, because the sun's spin would be a little less, I would assume, which is way out here. But they both go right straight down the center, right there. There's no question they're in the same pole. Now, this one stops here. I can tell. That I have absolutely certain of, too. And I can see the other one underneath this field. You see, they interact with each other's fields. And that's why the particles coming through space, there's no way in the world they're not slowing down. They say light doesn't slow down. That's how they can judge how far things are. That's just impossible. Light slows down coming through that. There's virtually no question whatsoever about it. Now, what we're seeing here is these fields. Now, let's take another shot. And again, this was just taken with a cell phone. This is a couple of years ago. And this was Rod Warren's nephew, Dylan Carpenter, over in New Zealand. And he took several shots, and he really didn't know what to think of them. He just sent me the pictures, and that's the last I heard of him. Here, let's take a look at the next one. Holding. Now look at that thing. If you want to see magnetic fields, yikes. Look at that thing. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what's going on with 99% of this stuff. But I do see a huge magnetic field, and I got a feeling that's where Venus is in the other side of the moon. That's all I can think of. That's just an enormous magnetic field, and that's Venus is going to have that. What this is, I have no idea, none. I've been looking at this for a long time, and all I can tell you is what I see here is this: a pyramid, spacecraft going back and forth to Atlantis. That's all I don't know. I have no idea what's going on there. Anytime you see energy, I mean light like that, that's energy. That's energy. This is 100% energy. This is a real glower, which I don't think has anything to do with this. This is something different. Now, what's going on here? And what's going on here? This is on top of the moon. Now, it's got to be either out there somewhere between us and the moon or on the moon. What it is, je ne sais pas, I do not know. Now, what else can I determine from this picture? All right, I say the moon is going this direction like this. Not spinning, but moving this direction around the Earth, which forces the light that's in front of it to crush into the blue zone, which is the more energetic light. Originally, let's say it was like this. Here's what's going on. This might make it a little more clear. All right. Light is coming at us like this, and the moon is coming out like this. So this light, let's say, is red, and it's spinning this way. Now, when the moon is pushing against the red when it's coming, it pushes it down to like this. So now it's much faster. It's much more energetic. It's gaining energy. So what does gaining energy mean? It's shifting up into the more energetic level of the light spectrum. It goes into the blue. The red is way down here. Now, but here's what happens in space. They say light comes to us and it never slows down. That's just nonsense. It's just not correct. Because light right now, spinning, let's say it's spinning like this fast, and it bangs there, and boom, 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 and it keeps going like that until it gets redder and redder and redder, and eventually it's so slowed from interacting with all these other particles and fields, it basically stops moving. It becomes what they call a cosmic microwave background. It means they're particles that just aren't really even moving. They might be just barely moving, but that's about it. And that's all it is. And the other particles coming through space fast, coming out of the sun and so forth, which are really fast particles, they bang, 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 bang with all these particles that are just laying around out there. And they have to get out of the way of these new ones coming through. So these start to slow down, and eventually they slow down until they're the same as the other ones. They're just the cosmic microwave background. You see, they're talking about magnetic fields and all these different things. Never once did they even consider that the Big Bang could be wrong. Listen to this. These theoretical findings that they came up with about this all being these halos of dark matter coming out instantly at the instant of the Big Bang. Well, who knows about this Big Bang? It says, also suggests the abundance of mini halos is determined not by the present presence of primordial magnetic fields, but rather by their strength in the primordial universe. Thus, a detection of dark matter mini halos would reinforce the hypothesis that magnetic fields formed very early, even within 1 second after the Big Bang. Nobody's ever proven the Big Bang. Not a single thing has ever proven anything about the Big Bang. And they say the universe is expanding because of the Big Bang. No, it's not. Light is slowing down. It's being emitted from different places all over the place, and it's just slowing down as it's coming to us. That's all it is. It's not everything stretching out because it's being pulled away. They think light is stretching. This is what they think. They think light coming to us is stretching because the galaxies are being pulled away. So the light is sort of pulling with it and coming to us a lot slower than it would normally. That's just ridiculous. What's happening is it's coming fast in its original configuration. And it's going bang, 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 bang. All right, that's it. I'm done banging. And it just lays out there. That's all. Cosmic microwave background, baby. Just in case you don't know what it is, here's what it is. It's just particles that are laying around in space. Cosmic microwave background, the microwave radiation fills all the space in a observable universe. It's just all the particles that are just stopped. It's the remnant that provides an important source of data on the primordial universe. With a standard optical telescope, the background space between stars and galaxies is almost completely dark. You really can't see much. However, a sufficiently sensitive radio telescope detects a faint background glow hitting off of all these particles just laying around out there. So they can pick up this background glow, and it is almost uniform because they're just laying everywhere. It is not associated with any star. There's nothing spitting out. It's just laying there. Or any galaxy or any other objects. It's just laying out there because it's stopped. It's like water. It just flowed out and then it just stopped. All right, so it's uniform and not associated with any source. The glow is strongest in the microwave region of the radio spectrum, and that means they're very, very slow moving. And that's where the most particles are. CMB is landmark evidence of the Big Bang Theory. Yeah, it's just leftover stuff. But why is it not moving? It's not moving because it's slowed down so much. They say light can't slow down. That's the key. This problem with Einstein, he destroyed everything in science with this not light can't slow down, can't speed up. I can show you both of those things happening right now. All right, right here. This is light from a pulsed red laser. Red laser light of any sort is supposed to go exactly the same speed. Well, we took that light and we accelerated it. Right there, that's acceleration. And you know, the people say, oh, that's not acceleration. Yes, it is. You can't possibly not miss this. The particle is a big magnetic field. All right, the particle is a big magnetic field. It's this huge field, but the particle is this tiny little zip, zip. It's right inside here. But as it comes, because it's got a field, everybody's got to get out of the way. So all these glow back at it. It's push to shove, I call it. This is pushing, they're shoving back. They just got to get out of the way because it's going to come through there. Now, we accelerate it using a Venturi. Very simple device. Right there. That's acceleration. So right there, Einstein is shown wrong. And can it slow down? Absolutely. Here it is slowing down. It came in real hot there, and it's slowing, 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 slowing. You see it? How tight it is here and slowing down. That's just the nature of light. It slows down. It doesn't go the same speed continuously. And this is what the particles look like, these black and white particles. And these are exactly the same particles as CERN and Fermilab and everybody else has seen. Hold on one second. See, this is Fermilab. These are the particles they saw. These are the particles we found. Only we started with light. They started with huge particles. So when they smash their particles together, all they see is what they call a zoo of particles. And it's a zoo. It's all kinds of bits and scraps and pieces. Because what they're doing is they're hitting a couple of these head on. Boom. And then it just goes flying all these bits and pieces, and they dig through, and they can find these, but rarely. And they're these. These are the smallest ones that exist. We started with these because we started with light. So we started from there, and then we could actually see them right there. There they are. All right, and there's two of them back to back, which makes a photon. And they come in the green, and they come in the red, and the blue. It's all the same thing. Here's the green. Same particle, only it's just faster. And it's quite a bit faster, actually, much more powerful. And then the red, and then the blue is just off the charts. You really can't work with the blue because it's just too fast. This is the blue right here. So all you can see is a and as it spins, it's spinning to the right, which means it would drift to the left as it started to slow down. In here, it's coming in almost straight, and then it just starts to slow down as it goes. And by the time you can see it out here, you can see that it is made of the two particles. Over here, you would never know that. And, of course, I showed you the red. And here's the red accelerating. From here, it hasn't quite reached the photon state yet. It's still accelerating. And this is what's called a neutrino phase. Same thing here, neutrino. And the green has a neutrino phase too, same thing. You see, these are the neutrino phases until it gets to a point where it's a maximum photon stage, which normally you wouldn't see that until it bounced off the wall. But we put it through the Venturi, so it's stacking up on itself, basically, I believe, to create these fields. And that's just a guess. I got to be honest with you, it is a guess. Because coming in here, they don't have a full set of particles like this here. You see the two of them back to back? I mean, they're just perfectly exact. Now, here, they're not. And the reason these two are perfectly exact, because they are coming straight into the Venturi. The Venturi is right here. And if you're not straight in there, you're not going to turn into a photon. Photons, I believe, only happen on a bounce, when they really actually bounce and come back. At that point, they're really a photon. In the middle, they're like these kind of things. They're not quite photons. However, because they're so accelerated, they're backing up on each other, smacking into each other, almost like hitting another wall. And then they come into their photon phase. That's the only thing I can figure out. Because they don't just happen automatically, these photons, until they're just about to hit something or hit against themselves, I believe. Same thing here. You don't see photons back here, but all of a sudden up here, they're just starting to impact each other, basically, that's the only thing I can take away from it. And again, that's a guess. But we did separate them. The black came away from the white, which is fission. Right? Everybody was talking about fission? There it is. And here's fusion when the black comes back to the white, and it'll come back with a vengeance. But right in here, there is no weight whatsoever. This is what you want to put in your car and your batteries. And I think we can get this all day long through this device for almost nothing, and actually get a net increase of a tremendous net increase, I would think. But that's just my guess. Nobody wants to get involved. I've been trying for years to get somebody to look into this, and I don't know. You'd think they'd jump on this, especially the Department of Energy. I've been after them for years, but no interest. All right, so let's just finish it up with this. The magnetic fields become because of a spinning dipole. And when you have a spinning mass, it will create this kind of magnetic field because it's pushing other particles away from it as it comes towards them, and it's bouncing into them, bouncing like this, only it's just a continuous bounce. That's all I can say. Now, again, I'm just guessing at a lot of this stuff. I find this uniformity very, very intriguing, how exactly uniform these fields are. Now, in some of our light experiments, it was not as uniform as this, but it wasn't the same effect because we were just putting light through a Venturi, and it was pulsating itself, yes, very, very clearly and very. Well, let me show you something. Maybe I'm missing something here that I could think a little better on. Hold on. Well, this is light spinning, and wherever you see a glow, it means there's a concentration of energy pushing each other away from each other, or banging into a wall, or whatever. The glow just means there's a lot of energy, and you can see there's a bundle all coming together here. Be getting a pretty good glow. Now, they do spin very, very symmetrically. Let me take another look. Hold on. All right, check this out. They do make these exactly perfect circular fields. Now, all I can take away from this is that the particle is coming this direction. And it's getting glowier and glowier as it comes closer to impacting with whatever Rod did there. Now, this was Rod Warren did this research. And we really didn't communicate very often. He just sent me pictures of stuff he was just like, it was like a hobby for him, but he was just so fabulous at it. And I was just loving it because I was getting new pictures every day. I mean, literally hundreds of them. He was just unbelievable. And the amount of work he put in, I can't imagine. And he just doesn't want to be involved anymore. I can't get any response from him. And I understand that because he did this for 5 years at least with me. Nothing for him at all. And I wanted to prove my electron flood theory, and I feel that I have based on this work. Now look what happens here. The light is coming in this way. It's starting to gain energy, and it all of a sudden starts to really glow. And it appears it's impacted something that was here. You see the things coming off this way? Now whether this is, it can't be a Venturi, because it would block. It would block. So I don't know what he has here. It could be a hair or a sewing needle or whatever, but this thing here, this one particle appears to be gaining energy because this is exactly in its path, and this will hit so hard that it's pushing back and making that glow. You wouldn't see these things glow unless it's pushed back. And you want to see how I can prove that? I'll show you. Don't forget, you're seeing this glow, and you see the smash is coming this way, so we know something's got to be pushing back to make that glow. And here's what happens in the red, the exact same thing. You see right here? These fields are all over here, but you can't see them. You can't see them. They're there, just like this one's here. The only reason you see this one is because it is directly in line with the Venturi, and it is being pulled forward, so it's glowing as it forces its way through all of this stuff. These don't glow because they're just sort of moving, like light does, not getting accelerated like this one. So what happens though? Why is it glowing here? Why is it so intensely white? And you can see the same field. It's this exact same field, so no difference whatsoever. And it was light coming, but there's no field. You couldn't see it. The only reason you can see these is because of the reverse electromotive force. Now let me turn off the light so that it might be a little more visible. This is where the explosion is, and it's a subatomic nuclear explosion. It really is. That is the fission. Just like nuclear fission. It is nuclear fission. It's nuclear fission. It's breaking apart nuclear bits, which is nuclear fission. This is putting back together those nuclear bits. Means to fuse them back together, and that's what's happening here. In between, we have separated the charges, completely separated. The black has stayed back, and the white is the only thing that can get through here, because it can crush down. The black cannot. It's a fixed particle. It's like a bowling ball. The other ones are like cotton balls. Only they can get real big and get real powerful like they are now, because they're forcing each other's fields to fight against each other. And that's when you get this white, brilliant whiteness. Now back here you can see, I hope you can see, hold on. You see these reverse EMF fields? This field here at the Venturi is much stronger than the power of this field coming forward. You see this field? It's just making sort of field after field after field, no big deal. Look at this one. This one is blowing out back here, all the way back against the particles coming at it, and just forcing all of those things to illuminate like on steroids. That is a lot of energy, and I don't see why we can't use that. I really don't. That is the energy you put in your car and make your car run. It has no weight whatsoever. And if you can just take this and you pull it right out of here, which you should be able to. You should be able to put that right through a photodiode. It goes through the diode one way, it's like a gate, can't get back. And you put it to wherever you want to use it. You could use it right away, or you could store it in something. And these could be in a little suit box, a little lunch box. You could carry that around, I think. Let me just show you my design, my hopeful, thoughtful way of doing it, if we could possibly save the Earth and get free energy at the same time. I think it would be pretty nice. All right, I'm going to leave it at this. This is, again, I've been showing this for years. We need to try this. I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm just saying we need to try it. They're trying it at Lawrence Livermore. They're creating high energy electron showers, you see them? And the muons are backing off. Exactly what we're doing. High energy electron showers, the muons can't get through, they back off. Virtually identical. And this is supposedly extremely high energy showers coming up from this almost no energy whatsoever. So that's what we did too. And here's the muons. They just back right out of here because they can't get through. Now, this is what's, just a mock of what it would look like. But you'd have a bunch of plugs you could put into and select any voltage, any cycles, any whatever you want. AC, DC, USB, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And you should be able to carry that right around. And these things are like a dime a dozen, literally. And you should be able to put so many of them in this one thing. If I'm right, I would think you'd be able to power a car with that quite easily. And although I don't know. These are the things that have to be figured out. But I can tell you what, there is one hell of a lot of white juice coming out of this side. And this is just playing with a construction laser, a cheap pulsed construction laser. And what happens is the black and the white come together, and the black can't get through, but it slaps the white and forces it to come through here. So it doesn't get any better than that. Now, we could slap it 1,000,000 times a second or 10 times a second or whatever we want. We can regulate the pulsation of this. We can regulate the intensity of this. We can change the design of the venturi so that we harvest more of this input and it doesn't splash back out here and lose any of this. We may have to put a circle around here, complete circle around here, and just let it come through the center of it, and all of this gets harvested at once. And have film completely around here, and pick it all up before it can get back to this. So you'd have to make the circle right about in here somewhere, so that when the light came through, it can't come back out. Here it's just splashing all over, because this is just actually, you know what this is? It's two construction nails. I'm not kidding you. This was one of the first ones he sent to me. I said, Rod, what did you do, man? How did you do this? And he said, I was making a double slit, but he didn't do the double. He did a single by putting a little finishing nail here and a little finishing nail here, just driving them into a piece of wood. And then this is shooting the laser through those finishing nails, sticking down. They were very, very close together. And it forced the light to go in together against and smash its fields together, and the black just wouldn't let it get back out. It just kept forcing it, and that was the result. And then from there it was off to the races. I said, try this, can you try that, can you do this, and he did everything. He just was just so phenomenal. I never can say enough about Rod. He was just numero uno, my friends. And without his help, I would never be able to show this. And all it does is prove my electron flood theory. And it could be very helpful to the Earth if we could get free energy from there. As I just showed you, if we could get that free energy and be able to carry this around, no grid required, no tied to anything. Everybody could have these in their own house, just like a backup generator. And I don't see why you shouldn't be able to run cars and heating and air conditioning and everything with that. You might have to scale it up, but it certainly should be looked into. That's my point. All right, I love you all, and hopefully we get this done, but This magnetic field lines coming from the Big Bang, they're coming from spinning through the particles that are in space. Push to shove, push to shove, push to shove, push to shove. That's what's going on, just like I showed you with our light research. Just like I showed you here. You see this? Bam, 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 bam. Oh, this is just stunning stuff. Stunning, really.